Death Battle has always been one of my favorite web series for over 7 years. Just the concept about two fictional characters fighting each other to the death really piques my interest. In fact, most of these episodes where these fictional characters duke it out are just fantastic, so only picking 10 of my favorite episodes was definitely not an easy task, but at least the job was done. It's now time for me to present you, in my personal opinion, the top 10 best episodes of Death Battle. Deadpool vs. Deathstroke. Just about a year before we got one of the greatest comedies of the late 2010s, our favorite Merc with a Mouth takes on the Teen Titans' greatest threat. This episode provides a lot of entertainment and fun when it's your first time watching this episode, or when you're coming back to it. Deadpool was really funny as expected, when he's either fighting Slade,
I hate your dumb face!
or interrupting our host was in Boomstick.
Wanna see me naked?
Wait, what? No!
Oh, my eyes! Can't claw them out fast enough.
But most importantly, I love the scene where Deadpool starts dancing while he's fighting. This episode was so popular that they used Deadpool to fight other combatants such as the Mask and, Hanky Pie. Nothing too much else to say. If you're a big fan of comedy like myself, definitely give this episode a watch.
And the moral of the story is... Deadpool wins! Yay! This is totally racist. Hey, chimichanga!
Kirby vs. Majin Buu. From the fight featuring the Merc with the Mouth, now we have a battle between two of media's most intimidating pink monsters, and a fight that will for sure satisfy the DBC fans, if you know what I mean. Anyways, the fight animation is pretty good, with some funny moments during the battle, especially with Kirby's adorable facial expressions. The analyzing was mostly pretty good. The music choices from the DBC and Kirby franchises fit really well with this fight, especially since they used one of my favorite songs in any Kirby game, the final boss fight against Magolor. Before coming to this episode, I was really worried that Kirby would be the victim to die. But I'm really happy that he did win this matchup, even though this matchup was a total curb stomp. Yeah, I know, I'm bad with jokes. But seriously though, Kirby literally slays gods for a living. There would have been almost no chance of Boo actually winning this battle. But ignoring that, this is definitely one of my favorite sprite battles in the series. And I'm certainly glad that my favorite puffball in gaming history achieved the victory that he deserved. Terminator vs. RoboCop. We have definitely seen these two characters fought many times. Not as much as Mario and Sonic of course, but definitely a lot. There was a comic book series, a video game, a rap battle. Hell, they even were both playable characters in Mortal Kombat 11.
Haven't we done this before?
I have no record of a previous encounter.
We have met. I am sure of it.
And of course, they both made an appearance in Death Battle before MK11 ever happened. This is the first 3D fight animated by Torian Crawford, and this is definitely a great start for him. Joe Goddard was the perfect Arnold impersonator for this fight.
Time to bring you down to earth.
And the Smash Brothers announcer himself, Xander Movis, did a great job voicing RoboCop as well.
Good news, scum. You are no longer under arrest.
This episode also uses a good amount of quotes from their respective franchises.
Come quietly, or there will be trouble.
Hasta la vista, baby.
You are coming with me, alive or dead.
Fuck you, dickwad.
You have the right to remain silent.
I'll be back.
Don't worry, Arnie. You'll be back to terminate Murphy 6 years later. Overall, Death Battle's version of Terminator vs. RoboCop will always probably be my favorite version, and I'll be back watching it time and time again. Optimus Prime vs. Gundam. It has been a long time since we received characters from Transformers and Gundam respectively, and the wait was certainly worth it when we got two of our favorite iconic robot heroes. This episode is the first 3D fight without Torian Crawford since Goku vs. Superman, and boy did the animators do a fantastic job at this fight. Hell, even the 2D animation's pretty good too. The analyzing was really well done. The music sounds like something from the 80s, but at the same time, it also feels so modern. And I love it so much. The killing blow is probably among the most satisfying in the entire series. Not only because Optimus won, but also the fact that he delivered his iconic catchphrase before he blasts a laser from his chest at Armorio.
I must stand, so you shall fall.
With all that I just said, you get an episode that is just simply Prime. Oh, and just make sure not to tell anyone in real life that Prime killed a human. Wario vs. King Dedede. Ever since the episode was announced, I was really excited, especially since these two fat bastards are among my favorite gaming characters of all time, and when the episode came out, it definitely did not disappoint. There's just too much things I love about this episode. The humorous expressions from the two fatties, the little flashbacks where Dedede stole Wario's bike pieces, and where Wario dropped ass in front of Dedede's face, Boomstick and his windbreaker.
She speaks!
The Wildie growing a horrifying looking mouth.
Ew.
That catchy ass music track. And of course, the killing blow. Not only is it hilarious, but it's actually pretty gruesome when you think about it. Just being the big fat penguin getting a fatal fart in your mouth is probably the worst way to go out. Nah, I'm kidding, he's still living. The real death involves Wario lunging forward about to use his waft, where Dedede slugs a Gordo into Wario's ass crack. Wario then lets out a giant fart strong enough to not only kill him, but blow up an entire planet. Wow, I just can't think of any other death that gives me a chuckle harder than the Wario's. Just letting out a fart that obliterates the planet is just gold, man. Overall, Wario vs. King Dedede is definitely one of the funniest episodes that this series has to offer. And Dedede with his top tier crouch at the end? So much yes. Carnage vs. Lucy. Oh dear goodness do I get chills from this episode. And I never get goosebumps from watching most things. And I gotta give credit to the crew for succeeding on this. The music known as the Chorus of Carnage is absolutely amazing. It fits really well with the dark and eerie atmosphere of this episode. The fight was nicely animated, even some of the hand draw parts. Lucy's voice actor did a good job at making her sound like a badass serial killer. Carnage's voice on the other hand, oh dear, is so unsettling, it gives him from the Powerpuff Girls a run for his money.
It's raining, you're bleeding, Carnage is starving.
And I love it so much. However, with all the praise I said about it, there's kind of one problem that most people have with this episode. It's kind of the fact that the crew may have nerfed Carnage in this fight, most notably with his speed. I could definitely agree if he wasn't such a sly dog and didn't got himself monologuing, he could have killed Lucy right here. But ignoring the episode's mistakes, Carnage vs. Lucy is a fight I never would have expected to give me goosebumps while watching it, but also be so flawless at the same time. Mario vs. Sonic, 2018. To celebrate the 100th episode, the DB crew decided to remake one of their most iconic episodes between two of gaming's most iconic mascots. This episode also introduced us to the fully animated forms of Wiz and Boomstick.
Now they can see me do this! Ah, check it out, Wiz!
Although the original episode was still pretty good, for sure a top 5 in Season 1's lineup, but this remake improved so much from the original. The hand-drawn animation is an absolute beauty. It makes you feel like you're watching the Sonic Mania cartoon. The music is also an absolute beauty. The voice acting was really great. The pre-fight analyzing was so much better than the originals. It's great that they give both Mario and Sonic more variety of their power-ups in their arsenal. The climax was pretty neat, and I love the little callback to Mario's catchphrase from Mario 64. Overall, Mario vs. Sonic was an amazing revisit of a classic matchup to make a fantastic milestone for the series. It was the day, September 20th, 2012, the episode where Pikachu got mauled by a Brazilian fighting monster. At the very end of the episode, we got something very special. Something we all wanted since the very beginning of Death Battle. Happens to be one of the most hyped up moments in internet history at the time.
Oh my god! Somebody get me a motherfucking table to flip!
Goku vs. Superman. At the time of this video, not only it's the longest Death Battle episode, but it's also the longest fight sequence in the series. For a fight that goes on for 10 minutes, this is indeed incredible. This episode probably has one of the best pre-fight analyzing in the series, especially for a season 1 episode, which is kind of saying a lot. The voice acting from the two combatants is mostly pretty great.
Gee, thanks.
The animation, although may not look the best today, was still really well done. The climax at the end was awesome. And what better way to end a climax with a very climactic death of everyone's favorite Super Saiyan, which will cause a bigger outrage even harder than Boo's death. Since this episode was so popular, Screw Attack put Goku and Superman for a rematch, which unlike Mario and Sonic's rematch, it was really unnecessary. So putting all the good stuff I said about this episode, you get a fantastic season finale with great animation, well done analyzing, great voice acting, an awesome lawn fight, but most importantly, extreme salt and tears from the DBC fanbase.
Still.
Thanos vs. Darkseid. Speaking of season finales, here we arrive to a fight between two of comic books' most feared antagonists. Two masters of power, the Mad Titan versus the Lord of Apocalypse. Now this is how you end a fantastic season of Death Battle with a bang. I'm looking at you, season 3. The 3D animation was amazing, probably the best in the entire series. The analyzing was excellent, the voice acting was awesome, and Kings of Infinity was a phenomenal track. Also, Deadpool reappears in this episode to provide some good laughs.
Hey, Thanos! Buddy! How are you doing? Rocking that chin as always!
Finally, Thanos' death. Oh boy. It's probably the worst way for a Death Battle combatant gets to go out. He has to suffer an endless raft of gruesome and painful deaths, starting by getting shot by Deadpool.
Is he looking at us?
Oh my god! It's Deadpool with a gun!
Behold, in endless death.
Come to think of it, after watching Endgame, he sure did went off pretty easy compared to what happened here. Overall, Thanos vs. Darkseid is an amazing conclusion to a fantastic season. After all the amazing stuff I said about it, there's just one episode I think tops it. Ganondorf vs. Dracula. Holy shit. I know there's no such thing as being perfect, but for a fight between two of gaming's most iconic Kings of Darkness, this episode is an absolute masterpiece in my eyes. The analyzing was very well done for both combatants, and 1,000 times better of how they analyzed Ganon back when he faced Bowser in Season 3. The fight itself screams nothing more than epic. The animation is absolutely amazing, especially since this is the first episode ever to be entirely animated with source filmmaker William T. Soup as Ganon, and Stephen Kelly reprising his role as Dracula. Both did awesome jobs at voice acting them. The Dark Lords is an amazing track that fits well with the haunting theme of this episode. And to top it all off, Dracula's savage roast towards Ganon before delivering a very haunting killing blow.
You're right. You're not a man. You're a pig. Let me hear you squeal.
Overall, Ganondorf vs. Dracula is probably the closest thing we will ever get for a Halloween special in Death Battle, and the DB crew did an excellent job with this episode. It'll probably take a while for this episode to be topped. Have a favorite episode? Be sure to tell me in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for more content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.